We love video games. I love video games. They serve as an alternate form of entertainment alongside movies and Netflix, where you get to be the character or whoever you want to be inside the narrative. But for some of us, we think that nowadays games are too easy, or specifically, it needs more challenge. That's why, when you think challenge, what name comes... Wait a minute. This is the wrong script. What the... Sorry all. Turns out that script wasn't the right one for this video. But think of what you've heard as a teaser for possibly my next video or so. However, the topic still remains relevant for this exact video that you're watching, which are challenges in video games. Now, what comes to mind when you think of that? Undertale? Jedi Fallen Order maybe? Nah mate, you've seen it from the title already. So we're talking Dark Souls 3 today. Full disclaimer though, I've only played Dark Souls 3 from the DS trilogy. I've played Bloodborne, finished Demon Souls, played a bit of Sekiro, which I'm still not used to really. But 3 is the only game I've played from Dark Souls 1, 2 and 3. Don't get mad though, I really want to play Dark Souls Remastered one day and experience the original harshness of Lord Wolnir beautifully re-enhanced for modern consoles. But that's for another time. Today though, after getting through the fading flames from Highwall of Lothric right to the killing of the first flame, I really just want to share what I think of every boss that I faced. Not necessarily defeated though. Yep, call me a chicken in the game. My thoughts may differ than what you think because it's my thoughts, but do let me know what you think in the comments below. Alright, so as you all may know, Dark Souls 3 takes place, well, everywhere since you get to place it from Firelink Shrine of course. But from that same flame do you only get to Irithyll, Undead Settlement, Profaned Capital, and more. Now of course, at the end of every location lurks a giant and menacing looking boss, as every Souls game does, that you have to defeat. Aside from the optional ones though. So join me as I share my thoughts on each and every one of these bosses from start to finish. But before I do, I would like to let you know that there are heavy spoilers for this 4-year-old game that most of you may have already played. But just issuing a spoiler warning out there in case people haven't played this yet. Anyway, number 1, the tutorial boss we all know and love, Iudex Gundyr. Weirdly pronounced as Iudex, meaning to judge in Latin, this introductory giant-looking boss may seem like a tough guy to plow through. But considering this is already the 3rd game in this Dark Souls series, and you may have already expected experienced players to boot the game up, this boss is a breeze. Take advantage of it by hitting the boss as it initiates its standing up animation. As the moment his health bar shows up, you would have already taken a chunk off of it, but other than that, just dodge, roll and attack. The second phase isn't really that hard too. You just have to get your defense up and dodge, roll even more as you hit Gundyr's body. However, the same could not be said for players who picked up this game as their first Soulsborne experience. Remember how I explained to judge the Latin meaning? The truth is, the boss judges you whether you can or can't play this game. Beat it, and you're capable of playing this game and vice versa. It may be quite a tough guy for beginners, but once you get through it, then you should pat yourself in the back. Yeah, that's just the beginning though, so expect a whole lot more. Next up is the Vord of the Boreal Valley. This guy requires a lot more of strategic and tactical attacks, as well as defense to get through. But fear not, as just like Gundyr, this guy is easy. Sure, he may have his Frostbite AoE attack that grows even more aggressive in his second phase, as well as his standard telegraph attacks. But just keep hitting him until he's dead, and you're home free. But just watch out for that one attack though. He may be able to insta-kill you if you're not careful. Alright, now this is where things start to get harder than before. As you step into this guy's boss arena, then we should probably say to you, finally, welcome to Dark Souls 3. Number 3 is Cursed Rotted Greatwood. He's an optional boss though, but you may need to beat him to unlock the boss transposition feature, where you can exchange boss's souls for stronger weapons with Bloodlith in Firelink Shrine. Yet if you feel that this is too much for you, you may go on ahead. But you may regret it though. Greatwood's attacks are mostly telegraphed too, but when it lands, it can pack up a real punch in the butt. It is massive, and let me tell you, this just might be the first difficulty spike you'll encounter in the game. Throw in the fact that you have his friends or reinforcements attacking you, only to die after his AoE attack that lands on the ground. It's just more of a tougher battle than it is before. However, just aim for his weak spot, which is the egg or sack-filled crotch area, head on and proceed to the second phase. But just as a reminder, he grows an entire white hand that can hit you with more attacks than in the first phase, as well as a falling attack that can deal a lot of damage if you're not careful. But that hand is also his new weak spot, so just dodge his attacks, hit the hand, and also take advantage of the fall as you avoid it. As when he falls, he will not move for a moment and you will be able to hit it with more attacks that chips off his health bar. Rinse and repeat, and you should be able to win that trophy fast enough. Following the Cursed Giant 3 is the fourth boss in the game, the Crystal Sage. At first glance, it may seem like an easy boss, which he is at first, with correct time rolls and dodges, until his second phase in which he literally clones himself into 3 or more counterparts, which the original is included, that can deal a lot of continuous attacks, which can lead you to your death if you're not careful. The Sage's attacks are mostly magic based, which means a lot of homing attacks which deals a lot of pain when hit, and trust me, you do not want to get hit by that. Quickly locate the real Sage and not its clones. You'll actually waste time and die trying to eliminate the clones, and give him all you got. Repeat the process and celebrate victory, brother. The hit and run strategy is slow but works darn well here too. Once you have found the real Sage, hit 2 to 3 times and heal if necessary. Repeat it too and you should win. Yay! After defeating the Crystal Sage comes number 5, the Deacons of the Deep from the Cathedral of the Deep as your next boss. Now, this is the one statement that confuses me though. They say it's an optional boss, but it drops the small doll that serves as a key to a mandatory location later in the game. What? So this is a mandatory boss, right? Why could I say it like that? Anyway, so this could be an easy boss or a hard boss depending on where you want to look. Take risks and it should be easier, but be too passive and you may be dead the next moment after. The first phase is relatively easy. You just have to locate the glowing guy and hit it with all you got while avoiding the others. It will then switch to the other guy and so on until the second phase initiates. This is where things start to get interesting. Although there aren't any switches this time around, yeah, it's only focused on one guy this time. What you do here will define whether you will win this fight or not. This leads back to why I say to be risky and don't be too passive in the fight. Constantly avoiding the guys up front will surely leave you some breathing room, but linger too long then the cursed attack will initiate, guaranteeing instant death when the curse bar fills up until it is full. You can avoid it by killing the main guy before the curse bar fills to its end, but it's quite tough though. Which is why I really recommend you to beat the guy up until he's dead while avoiding his fat magic henchman, because you will get hit no matter what. Fill up with a sip of Estus or 2 and continue. Trust me, it is way better than being passive and way better than getting insta-killed. Way, way better. Repeat it and voila, you won. Dun dun dun! The Abyss Watchers are coming to get you at the end of the poison-filled Farron Keep. Serving as the 6th boss in the game, or later if you tend to kill Deacons after Abyss or High Lord Wolnir, and the first actual Lord of Cinder you encounter. This is surely going to make your day the longest day ever in the game. The Abyss Watchers' attacks are fast, agile, and hard to avoid, but you can and you will. What makes it worse though, is that another Abyss Watcher clone will be summoned up, and the 2 of them will aggro you until the end of the first phase, which is the entire health bar by the way, until the moment another clone gets summoned up. Now this clone is a special one. It still attacks you when it has a chance to, but it's way more focused to beat their own guys up rather than killing you. So, use that advantage with the best that you can while attacking when you get the chance. The bad thing though, the clone's health bar is quite short, so it won't be quite long before the original duo starts to aim on you again. Yet, keep attacking the real one, use the advantage of the third guy as soon as you can, and congrats on beating the first phase. after a cinematic that dramatically shows the resurrection of the Abyss Watcher into a more stronger form, he will now have fire-based sword attacks that can overthrow you in this phase on. Telegraphed, trailing attacks, and even standard-based attacks can end you if you're not careful here. But as usual, the most important thing is to time your dodges and rolls right, and you should be good. The battle here is really just about dodging, attacking, and backing away, but do keep in mind that you really have to be careful in this fight, as his attacks are not forgiving at all. As the first Lord of Cinder you face, he means business, and it's unlike anything you've ever faced in this game prior. Next up, after the treacherous journey through the intense and danger-looking everywhere area of Catacombs of Karthus, comes the first partly gimmicky but still real boss fight, High Lord Wolnir. Basically what you have to do here to fight this big guy is to aim for his glowing shackles in his left and right hands that can be deadly if you don't take them out first, as he will use that to summon a giant sword and skeleton reinforcements that, yep, will make you die. Don't mind the Skelly so much though, as it will be automatically dead due to the attacks of Wolnir. But that sword, however, it is capable of massive dealing and big AoE attacks that can take you out in a moment's glance. So you know what you have to do. There's also this one certain attack in which it emits a poison cloud, rapidly chipping your health away until you get to a safe area. If you do manage to escape, quickly heal and get back to action. But if you don't, then we're so sorry about that. Another way you can make this fight easier and quicker is by using a greatsword. Bring them in, and though you'll still need to resort to the same techniques, it will result in a much quicker and safer fight with the big guy than using whatever normal weapon you wielded before. Trust me, it's way better. Oh, and I really forgot to mention this. Destroying a shackle means taking away a complete 1/3 of his health. Now that's where the gimmick happens. Destroy all 3 shackles and you're done. Should have put this next boss before Wolnir, but most will probably encounter him after. If you decide to turn back and not head to Irithyll just yet, cut the ropes of the long bridge and it will take you to a secret, optional location named as the Smoldering Lake. You won't see the text pop up just yet until a bit more later into the real area, but you know you'll be somewhere different from the atmosphere of it all already. There's an old Demon King lookalike whose moveset is just the first phase moveset, so eliminate him and proceed forward. Go through the fiery lake or the basement, which is an entire level, and you encounter the next boss, which is the real old Demon King. Though I wouldn't say this is an easy fight, his moveset is pretty predictable and you may know what's going to happen after, so it makes this fight less epic and more generic than what it is supposed to be. It's like if the Flame Lurker from Demon's Souls had a long-lost son or a successor, but with a less amazing presentation than the one before. The challenging part is the second phase, but I should probably say that those Abyss Watchers you faced, it's harder than hold in the entire old Demon King fight. Again, simply roll and dodge whenever you feel like he's going to attack, and go in for a few hits or more. Do it again and again, and the next thing you'll see is this. Meh. Alright, now this is what we're talking about. Appearing mid-game at the end of Irithyll, Pontiff Sullivan just might be one of the hardest boss fights you'll encounter in the entire game. Like the Abyss Watchers, he's fast and agile, but twice the speed and twice the pain. I literally had to summon the NPC in front for help, as without him I may not be able to get through the fight. He's fast as hell and he doesn't stop, making your chance to heal with a sip of Vestis almost impossible. But like any other fight, dodging is key and is vital to survive this fight through. Especially the second phase. To hell with the second phase, by the way. As hard as that stupid guy is, he literally summons another clone that commands the real Sullivan on what to do. So for example, say the clone attacks you with a slashing attack, the real Sullivan will also tend to attack you with the same slashing attack that the clone does. But you get where I'm going with this. Just look at what the clone wants to do and avoid that attack, while trying to do the same with the real Pontiff. Make it suffer with hits when it has an opening, and watch it freaking fall! Dang it, I hate this fight so much. Oh wow, another gimmicky boss fight. Yorm the Giant, despite its appearance and how it looks in the game's opening cinematic, is one of the easiest boss fights in the entire game. Why? Because yeah, it's another gimmick boss fight, that's why. Look, hear me out. You literally take the Storm Ruler on his throne, charge it with a skill attack, and unleash an immensely strong attack that can make him fall within 4 to 5 hits. But the mechanics do balance this out though. The charges take long, and Yorm can deal damage to you while you're charging that thing. So, strategies are still important here too. Yet, unlike Wolnir, which still makes you feel like you're gonna lose in that attempt, Yorm just straight out says, "Yeah, I'm big, but I'm weak. I'll still try to attack you with all I can. But just take that sword behind me and get it over with." And that's exactly what happens. To be really honest though, I really thought that Yorm would be among the hardest boss fights in the game. But turns out it's just like the Dragon God from Demon Souls, which he's applied all over the marketing material, only for it to turn out to be one of the easiest fights in the game. What a way to turn expectations down, huh? Next up is the Lord of Cinder, Aldrich, which is found at the end of Anolondo, a surprisingly short level. It's basically just a large corridor with enemies around, and just at the end, the boss fog. Like, really? Anyway, Aldrich is a challenging and tough fight, only if you let him so. Instead, you could just creep up and keep hitting at the butt while still taking damage, but it's a safer method. He has different attacks that you need to watch out though, like the one where he summons a bow and arrows start creeping up from the floor to exactly where you are, and magical attacks too. Yep, like I said, you still have to watch out for that, because the damage it deals is nasty. But other than that, it's a relatively simple fight really. Again, like I've said 1,000 times in this video, keep dodging and rolling, attack and heal, and you'll see victory. Another Lord of Cinder fallen. Oh look! After the last Lord of Cinder you defeated and the death of Emma, you're transported back to the High Wall of Lothric, invited with another boss. But really though, I'd strongly recommend for you to just go back to the Void Bonfire, which is literally just in front, and do whatever it is you need to do. Because this fight is tough, yet only if you're unprepared. Dancer's attacks in the first phase are not too bad to put up a shield on, but I really recommend you to keep rolling. Her attacks will cost you several sips of Estus when you don't really have to, so keep that in mind. Again, key to this fight is to simply dodge, roll, and attack until you've reached the second phase. Now here's where things start to get a little more complicated and tough, because her attacks now involve more continuous deadly spins. One long spin can take your entire life away, so roll as far away as you can from her to make sure you're not harmed. When she rests for a split second or two, hit her where she hurts the most and repeat. However, it may not seem that simple because the attacks here are different each time, so you might need to keep an eye on the moveset here as well. Simply put, Dancer of the Boreal Valley, sounds familiar right? It's a tough fight, but a fair and balanced one too, especially if you know what you have to do. That is, be prepared. Okay, now for this guy, I actually don't know whether to call him as an easy or a hard fight, because I fought this guy 2 times now. When the first time I fought him, I found this guy to be hard as heck and immensely satisfying when I beat him. But the second time though, I found that his moveset was pretty limited, but it still did a massive amount of damage to balance it out. Yet, I realized that that was the only moves he had. So it was easy? Yet I don't know how to say it! His second phase only added in the attacks is the red stuff flying. And of course, stronger attacks. But what do you know? He's still having the same moveset from phase 1 carried over. I was like, now this wasn't as hard as I fought him previously. But why? At least it looked cool though, so it's a pretty damn shame the fight was just that. But for newcomers though, I wouldn't say it's an easy fight. His attacks are painful, even the seemingly minor ones too, and he can overwhelm you with the somehow nightlight equipment he has. But keep dodging and keep rolling, and you should be getting good. The dragon who speaks like a man. Osiros is found at the bottom of the Consumed King's Garden after a straightway through the area. This boss is optional, but again, like Curse Rotten Greatwood does, once defeated, gives you a gesture or emote that grants you access to another optional area, the Archdragon Peak. But that's for later though. Now for me, Osiros was a pretty good fight. He wasn't really that hard, nor wasn't he that easy as well. His first phase involves strong slamming and standard attacks as well, as AoE frostbite attacks that chip away your health if you stay too long inside it until you die. But if you have the chance, go for the belly and hit it there until the second phase initiates. His second phase shouldn't be something to worry about though, yet you might want to look out for that too. He has a flying move now that shoots ice or slams at you when he logs on. It's massive, but a dodge away or two can avoid it. When he gets ready for his next attack, that's when you should strike your next hit and do it all over again until it dies. You then be rewarded with the Path of the Dragon gesture, which you should try out later on at the exterior of Erithel Dungeon where you got the Dragon Torso Stone, which will then initiate a cutscene where you get transported to that area. More on that later. Okay, simply put, this next guy is Udex Gundar 2. Bigger, badder, and stronger, Champion Gundar is the next boss after Osiros, where you traverse through a weirdly familiar area called the Untended Graves, which is just a dimly lit cemetery of ash. The first phase is of like Udex's moveset, except stronger. But the second phase is where things get hilariously tough. Why hilarious to say? Well, to me, you see how the bosses transform into this weird second form that embodies what it is or something like that. Some even involve a whole cinematic, by the way. But this guy literally just buffs himself like that. It calls it the second phase. But he still hits harder than the first phase though, with new spear attacks and karate kicks. So you might want to look out for that too. Other than that, I just found it so funny that this guy just buffed and carried on. A legit laugh out loud moment though. Fun fact though, this actually mirrors the original Udex Gundar arena in the real world. So for instance, you die and you spill your precious souls in Champion Gundar's place, but you don't have to go back there to pick it up. Yeah, you can simply go back to the real Udex Gundar's place up there and still find your souls there. Some say it's a glitch, but it's way too coincidental to be just a glitch. In Gundar's arena? Man. Oh yay, another gimmick boss fight. But still, one wrong move and you're dead here though. After accessing the Archdragon Peak area, traverse through an area seemingly efficient for soul farming. Though save that for the Wing Knights at the top of the Grand Archives, where you will end up witnessing a dragon landing on you at what not seems to be an arena. But would you look at that? It's a boss fight. Yet messages in front of you say a plunging attack and stuff, but that's exactly what you should do. A plunging attack. Just fire your way to the top through the enemies and avoid the dragon's fire breaths. It's more like an intense level than a boss fight actually. And drop down to an area where you encounter two more messages saying the head being its weakness and another plunging attack. Hence, it is clear what you should do next. But don't make a move too early though, you might just fall and die. Wait for the right moment where the dragon's head is just below you, then go for the plunging attack. It doesn't matter what weapon you use, just make sure it's a straight sword or something like that because it's still gonna one-hit the dragon anyways. Yep, total gimmick, win-win! Alright, so next up is the Nameless King. No. Behold the Twin Princes! Now one last main boss fight before you fight the ruler of them all. It must be pretty hard, right? Yes, it freaking is. Prince Lothric and Lorien are so damn hard, I have to admit it. I straight up cheesed the second phase. Like, how do you even avoid those attacks in that phase, man? Like, come on! But I did manage to fight the first phase clean where Lorien, the younger one, teleports and attacks you even outside of your sight. Probably the next thing you know is that he insta-killed you in an attack you didn't even see. So unfair! So my advice for this one is to lock on. Even a split-second reaction to avoid can help you at the worst of times in this fight, because you'll never know where he is going to be next after all those teleports. Yet though his attacks are massive, he telegraphs them pretty slowly, so use that chance to attack him where you can at any time. My advice for the second phase is say, cheese, cheese, cheese! Nah, fight clean. Use the same strat in the first phase, but be more aggressive attacking and avoiding, as he has Lothric casting his magic spells on you now. But know this, taking Lorien down doesn't end the fight. You must take Lothric down now. But how do you say it? Well, creep up Lorien's back and attack him from there, or wait till Lorien's down and take that chance to attack him while he resurrects his brother. But watch out for the AoE attack immediately after though. It's nasty. Rinse and repeat the process and you should have a smooth win. Praises to you, brother. Finally, after that 10 or 50 hour treacherous journey with numerous deaths, you finally reached the end of the line. But you still have to fight one more boss that represents all the lords to link the flame though. The Soul of Cinder. Now remember Gwyn from Dark Souls 1? It's kind of like that actually. His moveset may be awfully familiar to those who have fought Gwyn before, so it's probably an advantage for them. But as for me, he's such a freaking difficult soul to take down. He probably has like 30 or more attacks in the first wave than he ever has in the second, and he hits hard. He's unforgiving, he's fast, he's everything that you imagine a Souls boss could ever have. He attacks with fire, poison, magic, strikes, you name it. But oh my god, beating him feels so satisfying. Especially when it's the final boss, you feel so happy at the time that nothing else could ever compete. It's like trying to scream in the middle of the night when your parents are asleep or something. But really, the last time I felt that satisfied was being Flame Liquor in Demon Souls. It was great. Really. I felt so happy and alive then because I freaking beat the Soul of Cinder. Yeah, I know. What's the strat, you asked? Well, how do I say this? Just dodge aggressively and attack when you can because this guy is ruthless. And he doesn't spare a second, mind you. You can stagger him, which is basically the best advantage you could do from here. But other than that, stay far, far away from him if you even want to get a sip of that sweet Estus. I used my +8 Twin Axes to do the deed, as it staggered him quite often throughout the fight. But other than that, I just dodged a lot. Almost thought I broke my controller just dodging, and attacked him a lot too. But his attacks are deadly and massive, and it can instantly kill you if you're not careful, especially in that second phase. Now he like turns into Gwyn too in that phase, and his attacks now involve spinning fire attacks and summoning lightning to attack you. But just do what you did in the first phase, and hopefully you should be alright. Yet do watch out for that combo attack as he can kill you in a continuous uninterrupted attack instantly. So yeah, do watch out. Soul of Cinder is like the amalgamation of every Lord of Cinder that ever existed, so it's no wonder he gets that strong. Anyways, take that freaking thing down and you get yourself the end of the game! Congrats! Now this game has different endings, which you may have known already. This is an almost 5-year-old game, by the way, and I got the default main ending. It felt good to actually complete my second Souls game with the Demon Souls on my own. Bloodborne excluded, I actually got hell to defeat Gehrman, and it felt satisfying to watch the credits roll in a difficult game like that. Well, that wraps up on what I think about every boss in Dark Souls 3! Oh yeah, it's the title about Nameless King. Truth is, I haven't beat him yet. He's so goddamn hard. But I'll try to do a video if I eventually beat him, which I think not. So, stay tuned for that. Hopefully though. Hopefully. But I know. Some of you may ask me for a boss ranking in this game, and I actually do have my own solid ranking according to difficulty. So the first one is the weakest one, and the last one is the hardest. You could probably have a guess on whose number one's gonna be. Well then, number 19, Udex Gunder. Number 18, Fort of the Boreal Valley. Number 17, Ancient Wyvern. Number 16, Yorm the Giant. Number 15, Old Demon King. Number 14, Crystal Sage. Number 13, Deacons of the Deep. Number 12, Curse Rotted Greatwood. Number 11, High Lord Wolnir. Number 10, Aldrich Devourer of Gods. Number 9, Oseros the Consumed King. Number 8, Abyss Watchers. Number 7, Dragon Slayer Armor. Number 6, Dancer of the Boreal Valley. Number 5, Champion Gunder. Number 4, Pontiff Sullivan. Number 3, the Twin Princess. Number 2, Soul of Cinder. And of course, number 1 belongs to the freaking Nameless King. And yep, that is my ranking, according to difficulty for my first playthrough. Yeah. Alright, so that ends our video for today. Thank you all for watching this long video on me babbling about video game bosses. Hope you will enjoy it. And please play Dark Souls if you haven't. It's hard, but it's a really good game. Probably gonna try Dark Souls 1 or 2 next, continuing my FromSoft spree. Or if you don't like Dark Souls, then there's Bloodborne, Sekiro, or Demon Souls. I reviewed the remake of Demon Souls on my channel if you want to check it out, by the way. But I also do feel like reviewing Bloodborne one day. From Software games are just so special. They're hard, of course, in terms of difficulty, but they still remain so memorable. But that's another topic for another video. Well then, Hope you guys have a good day, and see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching this. Bye bye. See you guys soon.